Well, hello everyone. It is Tuesday, December 2nd. Happy first Tuesday of December. It is my sister Kathy's birthday today, so I want to wish her a happy birthday. Not that she's watching, but then I've memorialized it for her. Hi, Robin. Good to see you. Hi, Devin. Good to see you as well. I'm glad you guys are here. So, Thanksgiving. I hope you all had a really, really nice Thanksgiving weekend. Got to, well, for me, relax and get some rest and chill a little bit. I don't know what makes you happiest on a holiday weekend like that, but I hope whatever does make you happy is what you got to do over the weekend and spend it with people you love. Hi, Allie and Betty. Happy December to you too, Betty. Hi, Casey. Good to see you. Excuse me. Of course, I haven't coughed all day, and the minute that I'm on camera that I begin to cough. Okay. So, the first Tuesday in December, we'll have this week and then two more, and then we'll take a break for the Christmas holidays, which is really quite astounding if you think about it. 3 weeks, and then we're at the week of Christmas. So that my mind is blown. And I haven't even done my Christmas tree yet. We haven't done our Christmas tree, which mine's always up before Thanksgiving. So this is so strange that I don't have it up yet. I don't know about you guys. Are you guys decorate early? Do you have to wait until after Thanksgiving to decorate? Some people have a hard and fast rule. They have to wait until Thanksgiving's over to officially go into the Christmas season. But I've been listening to Christmas music and had some outside decorations for a while. But anyway, Betty, always after Thanksgiving. Well, then it's perfect timing for you. That's nice. So today, if you know, my tree is on a set of a play. I love that. That's fun. I guess when we do shows and productions, right, we give whatever we have to give to make it work. So if that means you're giving your Christmas tree for the betterment of the show, then more power to you. That's awesome. Let's see. Casey, I'm with you. Not decorated yet this year. Yes, Casey, it's been the same way for me too. And it's so a year ago, I had just gotten married and my husband was working a part-time job, and because he's officially retired, but he had taken a part-time job because he thought it might be fun. It was not fun. So a year ago, our Christmas was very different. And so I've been just enjoying the fact that he hasn't been working and that we haven't had so much stuff happening. And we had just finished the wedding. So last year, my house was full of all that stuff. So I'm kind of just enjoying chilling a little bit. But because of that, I don't have my tree up. We don't have our tree up yet. So we will. Robin, first time ever we did it before Thanksgiving because the Grants were coming over. And, Thanksgiving being a little later this year, that's usually when it's a later Thanksgiving. I always get Christmas up before. I love Christmas. I really do. I love the music. I just love the time of year. And I don't know about you guys, but it feels shorter and shorter. I know it's not, but it just feels shorter and shorter. So, yeah, I just want to kind of enjoy it all. Emily, you film your World War II movie next weekend. Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. Wow, you must be crazy busy right now then, trying to get everything ready and set for doing that. I hope that goes great for you. And where are you filming it? Are you filming it around where you live, or are you going somewhere else to film it? Um, that's awesome though, Emily. Good for you. Emily has been writing and creating her own stuff and making it happen. So super proud of you, Emily. Anne, hi from Maryland. Good to see you. Yeah, Casey, encouraging Emily. That's awesome. Hi, Adam. Um, Thanksgiving, I had a coaching session with someone on Tuesday or Wednesday. I think it was Tuesday of last week. So it was the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. But that actor is from London. And so it was interesting because they don't celebrate Thanksgiving. And so she was my last coaching session before Thanksgiving. And so it was just interesting because she wished me happy Thanksgiving. And we were talking about the holiday of Thanksgiving and the season. And she was saying that she wished that they had that in England. And of course, our Thanksgiving is created because of the settlers coming to our country and all of that. But I think any country could have their own season of Thanksgiving or their own Thanksgiving holiday. Just think it's wonderful to have a reason to stop and acknowledge all that we have and the blessings, and to be grateful and to just slow down for a minute and just have a little bit of quietness before all the kind of last few weeks into the end of the year. I really do love Thanksgiving. Now, I do still decorate for Christmas during Thanksgiving, but the actual Thanksgiving day and the season and the kind of thoughtfulness, the mindfulness of it, I really love. Let's see. Hi, William from New Orleans. Well on my way to accomplishing the strategy we talked about on our Oh, good. That's awesome. Yeah, you've been doing really good, William. We had a coaching and kind of set some strategies and some to-dos in place. And William was right on it and kind of letting me know how things were going and corresponding. So I appreciate that, William. That's great. Let's see. Deidre, October 31st tradition after the outside lights turn off, we set up Christmas. I like that. I'm all over that. That's wonderful. Well, okay. So I know that the purpose of this live stream is not to talk about the holidays. So maybe I should get to talking about some of our industry stuff and casting things. So if you do have any questions, please feel free to ask them. I will keep my eye on the comments. I didn't come into tonight's live stream with kind of a predetermined agenda that I wanted to talk about. So I'm totally open to whatever questions you might have. So ask away. In the meantime, a couple of things just that are on my mind. I was doing a coaching a little bit earlier today, actually, right before the live stream. And we were working on a scene. I'm working with a young actress who is actually going to be filming a role starting this weekend. And so we were just talking through the character, and she had pre-taped some scenes from the work she'll be doing. And so we were going over those self-tapes and the scenes. And one of the things we got to talking about that I think is often undervalued by actors, especially in the audition process, is the understanding and true kind of immersion into the environment in which the scene is taking place. And those touches, those layers and levels can often be the thing that sets apart your audition from somebody else's, because your performance is not just the dimension of what's being discussed, the dialogue, the words, but when you successfully create an environment, um, that's a whole nother level. That's another layer. And our environments do affect our mood, they affect the physicality, whatever physical response there is to our environment. And so, really taking a look at that and understanding the environment of a scene, what's taking place, where you are, allows you to richen up the scene overall. So, for example, this particular scene was taking place at a crowded party, and the scene starts at one party and then moves to a different party. So it's starting at like a big party, and then they break off and go to a different party that is at someone's house. And the first environment is a little more general, and the second environment has a lot more specifics to it. But when we were first looking at the scene, there wasn't a difference in the way that the actor was approaching those two different environments. And so we started to talk about it. Okay, so how many people are in this room that you're in? How many people are at the first party? What's the kind of music that's playing? What's the temperature? Are you cold? Are you hot? Is it an environment where it's like hot and sweaty, that kind of a environment, party environment? Um, really understanding that can help to play those subtle things, those nice little rich layers that feed the character and the physicality of how this person is standing, or what they're looking around. Initially, there was a lot of focus being placed on the character uh, with which the dialogue is taking place. And we discussed the fact that with so much going on, there are friends to look at and things, and what's someone wearing and who's over here dancing with who. And there's so much for your mind and your eye to be distracted by, and to things that could catch your eye, and your mind is processing all of that while you're having the conversation that's scripted. And so we just discussed how building that environment and living in that environment really does bring layers and richness to a scene. And so then that's the first party in the work she's doing, and then they leave and go to a second party. Second party is at someone's house, and the second party is not necessarily a great environment. And so, to differentiate how she felt about the two environments, we really talked about, okay, what does this second environment feel like? How many people are in the room? How close are they to you? So, like in the first environment, she says something that you probably wouldn't want people to overhear. And so I asked her to think about, okay, how close are the closest people to you at that first environment? Well, that certainly plays into the volume you would use, the way in which you would speak those lines of dialogue, if in fact you had people all around you that you didn't want to hear these things. The second environment isn't as pleasant. The character doesn't really necessarily want to be there. And so I asked her again, like, how many people are there? How close are they? What does it look like? Is it neat and tidy, or is it messy? Is there stuff all over? What's the music that's playing? How loud is it? And then I said, what does it smell like? And in this particular case, that was a big deal because the environment was kind of a, like a house party environment. And so she said, oh gosh, it's a bunch of teenagers, so they're probably sweaty and there's drinking going on. So that like smell of alcohol and sweat and maybe some smoking happening, and all of that became this very rich environment for her to play off of when her character is coming into that environment for the first time versus the previous environment. Both parties, both crowds, but very different in her kind of physical experience. And as Tina says in her comment, sensory experience. What are her senses experiencing? So you don't undervalue that prep work, that understanding work, especially in your auditions, because when you're actually shooting it, typically that environment is much more laid out for you, right? You're on a set or you're at a practical location. And so you have a lot more to play off of and to work from. Probably not smell. Smell is one of those things that I think you really have to do your own sensory work to bring that forward and to recall your physical reaction to certain smells or certain scents. Because they're not necessarily going to on set try to make it smell like a bunch of sweaty teenagers who've been drinking. But you can imagine that. You can bring that, your understanding of what that smells like, what your physical reaction is to those kinds of smells. You can bring that to the table. But you do get a little bit more of the physical structures and a sense of how many people are around or how close they are to you. When you're actually shooting, you'll have a lot more of that to work off of. But in an audition, you need to create that. You need to build that. Don't forget that you are existing in a full world. You are existing in a multi-dimensional, three-dimensional, living, breathing world. And we should simply be seeing you exist in that world under whatever these imaginary circumstances are. And so just as in our daily life, our senses are constantly being triggered and stimulated. And that often plays into, like, if we do walk into a room that smells like that, we really can't help but have a physical reaction to a horrible smell. Heat, if you walk in and a room is hot and muggy and I know for me, because I don't do well in humidity, my body instantly has a reaction to that kind of an environment, or cold or any of those. So you have taste, which in this particular case, you're not necessarily tasting what's happening in the room, but you can certainly, like, is your mouth dry? Are you, like, is it sort of stale? Like, what is that taste and smell and sight and hearing? Like, remember all of those elements. Don't forget any of them. They all play into what the physicality is that you bring to a scene. So I think oftentimes in self-tapes, especially in auditions in the world now where you don't even have a room that you're walking into, I think those elements are forgotten. I think we rush so much into the actual dialogue and the structure that we forget to create and build the environment and experience the environment. It really doesn't do anything if you build it in your mind, if you don't actually experience the environment so that we can experience it with you as the audience members. You can have it up here, but if you're not allowing that to color your performance or inform your performance in some way, then there's no point. You really need to understand your environment. What does it smell like, look like, sound like, feel like, taste like, if there is a taste? And how do you feel in this environment? Does it affect your mood? Does it, affect any other sort of physicality? Are you freezing and so you're trying to talk fast because you want to get out of this room? Or is it warm and comforting and so it makes you chill and maybe you slow your pacing down a little bit? Those are all things that that bring richness and dimension and layers to auditions. And those people who take the time to do that and who connect that way and create a fully dimensional performance are the ones that stand out to us. Yeah, taste is an interesting one, Natasha. You're right. And again, if it plays into the scene, again, it could be like, do you have a bad taste in your mouth, or is your mouth dry? Did you eat or drink something that's wonderful, or is it a non-issue? And it's possible that it could be a non-issue, but I guess I would challenge you just to ask the question and to explore all of those senses and to give depth to those choices. I saw something on social media and I wish I remembered who it was, because what he was saying was so accurate, but it was a very, very well-known actor. And maybe some of you have seen it, but he talks about specificity in acting is also freedom. So you might think being specific about your choices would make you confined and constrained, but it actually kind of has a freeing effect, because once you understand those aspects of your performance, you are free to just experience them and live with them. So, for example, he was using tired. If you're going to just play a scene as tired, well, gosh, I wish I could remember who it was who was talking about this. But okay, so in this scene, you're tired. And he was saying, okay, I've been up all night and couldn't sleep and am now trying to survive on 2 hours sleep kind of tired? Or are you just, you had nightmares all night, and even though you slept, your mind didn't ever really rest? Is it that kind of tired? Is it maybe just a little bit tired? Is it mentally tired? Is it physically tired? And really deciding that actually frees you, because rather than like, oh, I'm supposed to be tired, and then sort of figuring out that, tiredness and analyzing what that looks like, really just understand, where's the tiredness coming from? Why am I tired? Why in this moment, in this scene, am I tired? Am I physically tired? Am I mentally tired? Why is that? What have I been through that led to this? Understand that and then just experience it. Just live in that and exist in that. Yes, Ethan Hawke. Yes, it was Ethan Hawke. Yes, Betty, thank you. It was Ethan Hawke. And he was talking about the specificity, and it also makes it way more interesting too, the performance. Because again, I'll go back to the audition process. If we have a scene and I've sent out sides that say he's exhausted, he walks into a room, plops down on the chair, exhausted. Okay, well, 95% of the actors will kind of just do exactly what it says on the surface. Go in, pop on the chair, and then act tired, right? They'll act what they think tired. Do all the sort of stereotypical things that convey tired. But the really skilled actors, the nuanced actors, the really talented, exceptional actors will ask themselves, well, why am I so tired? What happened? Am I tired? Am I sore? Right? Did I maybe work out really hard and so I'm tired and my body's sore? Am I exhausted because I've been working all day and it's mentally challenging and so I have a little bit of a headache and I'm exhausted? Am I exhausted because I've been talking to people all day and now I just want to do nothing but be silent? What is that? What is plops on the chair exhausted? Those are the performances that we notice because we look and think, wow, that's really interesting. That's really nuanced. That's really specific, sometimes. Yeah. So I think going deeper than the sides that are given you, rather than say, well, I don't know why he's tired. It didn't say it in the sides. We'll make a decision about why he's tired. Don't just decide that we didn't tell you in the sides why he's tired, why he's exhausted. And so therefore, you're not going to worry about it. You decide. You decide why you're exhausted. Put together whatever you know about the script and the scene and the character and the setting, and you decide why you're so exhausted. And let that inform how you play that scene. It'll be far more interesting than just acting tired. Carter, just rewatched 12 Angry Men, the black and white version with Henry Fonda. Well, that's cool. Over Thanksgiving, great example in it as the characters experience the physical, stuffy summer heat, a small room in an American courthouse. Yeah, that's a really good, that gives you a lot of rich kind of things and elements to work from. The hot space nourishes the story. Yep. And the actors are important to making that heat real. Yep. Yeah. If they weren't experiencing the heat, if they weren't living in that stifling, muggy, sweaty heat, we wouldn't believe it. You could tell us all day long that it's hot in that room, but if we don't see the actors experiencing that, then we can't experience that. When we see them experiencing it, then me, someone who doesn't do well in humidity, I watch that and I begin to feel that uncomfortable feeling of just being muggy and hot and uncomfortable and just longing for a cool breeze. I experiencing that as I'm watching them in that environment, as I'm watching them exist in this environment. And they're helping me to understand that if they didn't do that, you could like I said, you could show the thermometer on the wall being 110 degrees and someone could say, man, it's hot in here all day long. But I wouldn't, as an audience member, feel it. I wouldn't experiencing it. I wouldn't allow it to change how I am watching or experiencing the movie. But because they experience it, I experience it. Yeah, needs more than the visible sweat. Needs to have those actors wiping it off, fanning their shirts, etc. Absolutely. Absolutely. And, you know, a really good example of this is, so many, many, many Christmas movies are filmed in the heat of the summer. It's just the timing of it. And that's why you see so many fake snow blankets in like Hallmark movies, because there's no snow, because it's potentially July and 95 degrees outside. So despite what the actual elements are, these actors need to make us believe that it is cold outside, even though it's 110 outside. And if they didn't play that, then we wouldn't believe it. It would feel very, very false if they didn't make an effort to say and connect with, it's cold. What does cold feel like? How does my body react to the cold? How cold is it? Is it cold, or just brisk, enjoyable cold? What is that level of cold? And it has nothing to do with their actual environment, which, like I said, can be the middle of July in Utah. And we need to believe that they're in the middle of winter in some mountain community somewhere that has a gazebo in the town square, because they always have a gazebo in the town square. So, Robin did one in June and had the fireplace roaring and 100 degrees outside. So true. Meanwhile, you have to tell yourself, it's cold, it's brisk, and warm myself by the fire. But that's why you actors are so good at what you do. Done. Now, when I get sides and analyze it, I'm going to mess with my thermostat, get the correct amount of sleep or no sleep before auditioning. Well, I don't know if you want to put your body and mind through all of those physical things, but certainly being able to recall what those various different things feel like and how they affect your body physiologically and your mind mentally is definitely a good thing. That's, as Tina said, that's that sensory work. That's the work and training you do before the audition, so that when the audition comes, you're ready for anything. You're prepped and ready and trained, and you have the tools that you need in order to be able to go to that place and be able to convince us of where you are and what you're experiencing. Betty, I'm trying to remember if I shared that Ethan Hawke piece. If I didn't, I'll try to find it and then share it on my socials so you can see what I was talking about. Ian Wilson, Outer Banks, having to act like it's summer in December right next to the Atlantic. That was an experience. Yes, it can be the total opposite too. It's freezing cold and you have to be in shorts and short sleeves and convince us that you are not cold at all, that you're quite warm and enjoying the sunshine. Katie, I book the ones having had no sleep. Then I'm like, great, now I'm not allowed to sleep. Oh, yeah. Well, that might be a little too method for some, to go full method, as in you actually become all of those things and you don't let yourself sleep and you experience all of the physicalities of it as you're filming, and you don't let yourself sort of out of that place. Whatever works for you. That's why there are different methods, and different tools, and uh, you know, kind of styles and philosophies of acting and the craft and study. And so, yeah, speaking of which, if any of you guys are looking for good classes, Tina's on here. So Tina has great teaching, especially with the various different method acting and kind of how to integrate that. And so I highly recommend her. So Austin, Emily Giuffre, that's so exciting. I remember you telling me about it. I really wanted to be a part of it. Go get it. Yes, go get it. Emily, I'm surprised you're even on here, because I have a feeling your to-do list is quite lengthy. But that's awesome. That I'm really proud of you. That's wonderful. And Emily, it's very inspiring, because in amongst my, my regular casting work, I've mentioned before that I have a project that I've been kind of shepherding for several years, and I need to kind of put it in high gear. And so I have great admiration for you guys who have, in amongst all of the other things you're doing, you have had the discipline and the drive to get your own things going. And I know it's not easy and it takes time, and but that's awesome. You inspire me, Emily. You inspire me. So thank you for that. Okay, I don't see any questions from anyone right now. And I don't know that I have, a million little insights to share with you. That, yes, you go. It's shifting to high gear. Like I said, this particular week, I didn't come with kind of a whole list of things. So I may just leave it at that. Ian, what are you casting next? So some of you, if you follow, hi, Austin. Oh, that's a question. Very funny. I love it. And Austin, I'm good. How are you? So currently, I just put out a breakdown last week on breakdown services and Actors Access for a film called Christmas in the Ring. It's really fun. It's basically a Christmas carol set in the world of professional wrestling. Gary Wheeler is the writer-director. Love working with Gary. Some of you may remember Gary's been on with us. It's been a long time just because he's so busy. But he has always loved the world of professional wrestling. So we are going to jump into that. So that's the one that immediately we're working on, although we're focusing on the wrestlers first. And we are looking for some wrestlers with experience. And then we'll get into some of the other supporting roles. Not a huge cast, but we will need some locals to the Charlotte, North Carolina area. So I'll be looking at that. And we'll probably get to those roles right after Christmas. Like I said, we're going to focus on the wrestlers, which are several of the key roles. Focus on those first, and then we'll get into some of the other roles. And that is shooting in February. And I'm working on another piece that won't shoot until May or June. I'm not yet talking about that one, but I would guess we'll put the breakdown out on that probably right after the first of the year. And for now, we're kind of looking at some offers to some established sort of name actors for just a couple of the roles, but that one is actually a 6-episode series. And so there'll be quite a few roles, and it'll be filming up in on the East Coast, the Northeast coast well, no, northeast, not the coastline. We're not going to be along the coast, but the northeast. And I'll give you more information on that as that gets closer. And then the other things that I'm working on are really, really early. We're in the pre-production stages and looking to try to get some actors attached so that some things can move forward. So yeah, a lot of great stories just right on the edge of getting greenlit. So I'm excited for that. Great content coming out. And yeah, so that's where we are with that. That's what I have going on. Courtney, okay, yeah, keep your eye out for it. Like I said, I released the breakdown called Christmas in the Ring. I released it on Actors Access and on Breakdown. So you could probably take a look it up. And yeah, let's see. Major Dodge has a son that wrestles and Major does MMA. Awesome. Tina, Stanislavski method and study the different methods for sure. This is a great night of teaching. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. So yeah, so that's what I have going on. Like I said, like 3-ish more weeks, and then we'll take a couple weeks off for the Christmas break, and then we'll come back in January with lots of energy and excitement for what I hope is a very, very full year for all of us. And yeah, I'm inspired by those like Emily and others who are getting some things done and created and greenlit for themselves. You guys, I'm going to encourage you the way I'm encouraging myself and kind of kicking myself in the butt, which is just get out there and do it. Make it happen. Write or create or partner with people you know, and just do it. Just do the thing and open up the opportunities for yourself. Be ready. So yeah, I'll see you guys next week. And until then, have a wonderful first week of December. And I will see you next Tuesday, December 9th. All right. Love you guys. Bye.